Good evening, everyone. I am Alin Luceño of BS Cream 2Y1-3, and for today's video, I will discuss the parts and function of camera lens. The first part, it is the focus adjustment ring. This is the adjustment ring. Focus adjustment ring, turning this changes the location where the lens focuses best. The distance from the first surface to the object is called the working distance. The second uh, the second part is the aperture adjustment ring. This is the Irish adjustment ring. Turning this changes the size of the aperture stop inside the lens, and thus the f number, in addition to controlling the overall amount of light that is able to pass through the lens, has many other critical effects on lens performance. The next, the thumb screw. This is the thumb screws. This thumb screws. Used to temporarily lock the focus and or erase the in place to prevent unwanted adjustment. The next part is the lens information. The lens information marked on the barrel of the lens and typically gives the focal length, minimum part number, and lens manufacturer. The next part is the working distance range. This is the working distance range. Working distance range. This is the specified working distance range over which the lens can focus. This is sometimes referred to as object distance range. The next part is the tick marks. This is the tick marks. Marks on the lens barrel that designate where to turn the aperture adjustment ring to operate the lens at a specific. The next part is the filter thread. This is the filter thread. Filter thread. This is where a machine vision of filters can be threatened if the first element does not protrude from the lens barrel. If the first element protrude past the lens barrel, or if the lens is a wide angle lens, an additional adapter may be necessary. The next part is the camera mount. Camera mount. This is where the lens is threatened or mounted on the camera. Typically, mounts are the C mount, F mount, P, F, L mount, and S mount. For the more informations, according to lens mounts, rear protrusion. This is the distance past the lens shoulder that the lens protrudes in the camera. Care should be taken to avoid interference with IR cut filter or electronics inside the camera mount. The next part is the first surface. The first surface. List the first surface. The first surface on can either be the first optical lens element seen protruding from the lens barrel or the lens barrel itself. The working distance is defined as the distance from the surface to the object. And the next part, the last surface. This is the last surface. The last surface can either be the last optical lens before the sensor or the lens mount itself. The next is lens shoulder. This is the lens shoulder. Lens shoulder is the surface of the lens shoulder that contacts the camera flange. The next part is overall length. The overall length of the lens is the distance from the first surface to the lens shoulder. Typically, the camera mount is not included since it be attached to the camera. The next is the flange distance. from the this part into this part is the flange distance. From the mounting shoulder to the image plane, this distance is typically standardized between the lens and camera from various mount types of ensure compatibility. The last part, it is we call image plane. Image plane distance from the mounting shoulder to image plane. This distance is typically and the image plane location where the lens forms an image, typically the camera sensor. Thank you.